Terrific. Hi everyone, thanks a lot for coming out. I do appreciate it. Give yourself a big round of applause for being here tonight to support Where to Get Drinks. Fuck yeah. Cool, I just want to make sure everybody knows right away, if you don't know already, the poster is for sale for $20 small dollars. If you want to buy it later online, it'll be $25. So this is about as cheap as it's going to get here, folks. And you get a free raffle ticket. The prizes that we got for the raffle tickets, you could win a copy of Mentally Incontinent, written by a good friend of ours, Joe Peacock, who helped us out a lot with the graphic design on the poster. He has a hilarious blog, turned it into a hilarious book. We're giving away about 5 copies of that later. If you guys want to grab a raffle ticket, I'll be cruising around with those. I also, I want to give a huge thanks to Genevieve Dupre, who's just been a tremendous help with the whole process of getting the company started. I really couldn't have done any of it at all without her. It would still just be on everybody's Facebook page, and it would not be anywhere else, and so I'm in huge debt to her for that. Everybody got here tonight with no problems, right? Like nobody got lost, right? Yeah. That's good, because I was thinking I could make a map and put a couple jokes on it, because it occurred to me that you can just take shit that everybody already knows and then you just sell it back to them for $20. So I didn't want to get greedy, but you know, that is where it is. I also, right off the bat, I want to give a huge up to Eric and Carrollton Station for having us here at this fine venue. Let's hear some Eric. I was a little bit nervous when I came here last week to speak with Eric, and I'm meeting him for the first time, and I'm kind of telling him what the chart is and what the party's going to be about. And so he says, well, I want to see it. I said, okay. So we get out the laptop and we pull it up, and he's reviewing it, and he says, so where are we on here? And I say, you're over here underneath no trumpets and shit. And he turns to me and says, yeah, that's us. I was like, yes! You know, it's good. Because God forbid I ever run into one of the like manager or owner types of a bar that didn't get a very favorable position on the chart, you know, because I talked to my legal team, because I have a legal team now, and there's no way that I could get sued or anything for anything. So it's just fucking satire, you know, so it's free speech, whatever, I don't know. Legal team handles that. But still, some owners or managers might be like pissed off, and they might take it out on me. Like, what happens if I get banned from Ampersand? Where am I gonna go to see Jersey Shore Night with DJ Trashy? Nobody else does that. That only happens in Ampersand. Where else am I gonna go to sell my sweet tarts with tiny pictures of Batman and Optimus Prime and say, oh, ecstasy, $20, yes! There's no other place that I could do that. I got mostly positive feedback on the chart. Some people were pretty upset. Like a guy on the Gambit blog, when Gambit wrote it up, he comes on there in the comments and he's like, I think you're equating gay men with child molesters by pointing out that minors can get into the bourbon pub. Which is bullshit, obviously. That was not my intention. And I know a bit about this. I teach creative arts summer camp. I teach like a comedy writing class. And I have a lot of counselors who are teenager age. And they, you know, I'm all like hip and cool. So they come to me and they tell me where they go get fucked up for the first time. And they tell me this. They go to 3 places. Hold on to your seats. They go to the Boot. They go to Friar Tuck's, and they go to the bourbon pub. And I know this to be true, because occasionally, on like a Wednesday morning, one of them will show up like 4 hours late, and they smell like strawberry schnapps. And they're covered in blue glitter. And I'm guessing you didn't go to Friar Tuck's last night. Just saying. I've been to the bourbon pub quite a bit, actually. Last January, I starred in a small musical production where I played a gay man. Maybe you saw it. Yeah, my girlfriend. Awesome. Saw the show. Thanks, baby. Good, Rachel. Thank you. So I played a gay man in the show, and the director, one of the director-writer types, came up to me after rehearsal one night and says, oh, Ian, you're doing such a great job, man. We love you. You're so funny, but you're just not gay. So what we're going to do is take you out to all the gay bars. We're going to go out on the Fruit Loop I swear to God, that's what they call it. Ask anybody. They're like, where are you going tonight, Fruit Loop?
Why isn't that on the poster?
Because it's a multitude of places. The bar has specific one-term end goals, but thanks for playing. So we go out on the Fruit Loop to do some like research for my role, you know, and we're walking up and he says to me, he's like, hey, I'm going to be with you the whole night. It's fine. Like, I'm going to introduce you to all my friends. It's going to be cool. You're going to have a great time. So I'm like, oh, great. I'm fired up. I think this is a great plan. So we get in the front door of the Bourbon Pub and pff, he's gone. He's like a rabbit. He's off talking to some guys in like concert tuxedos. And I'm suddenly there at the main entrance, like all by myself, not really sure what to do. And I was in there for probably a minute before, you know, I got hit on, obviously, by like a 400-pound woman who's like 59 years old, wearing something from Forever 21. Like Forever 21 shoe size, maybe. Excuse me, thank you. I spent a good amount of time at Bourbon Pub and Oz and the other one with the numbers, and it's a really diverse crowd. You know, if you guys haven't spent much time in there, you might be surprised. There's gay guys and straight guys and gay girls and straight girls and old people and young people, and sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll see somebody that you really weren't expecting to see in there. Like I saw this old black dude in a hover-round with a salt and pepper mustache. And I was like, I know you're the guy that hangs out at Whole Foods. No, wait, you're the guy that's always feeding pigeons in the park. Oh, no, I saw you over by the store. This guy's everywhere. I've seen this man a dozen times, so I guess it should come as no surprise to me that he would be at the Bourbon Pub drinking an appletini. Like I said, most of the feedback I got on the chart was pretty positive. Some people were pissed off about it. Some people said that I kind of missed the mark with a couple bars, and to that I say, boo! I don't really care, whatever. And some people in particular got a little bit upset that I had Snake and Jake's lumped in with old people. They said that Snake and Jake's didn't belong in the old people factor, and you know, I thought about that a lot. I went home and I kind of considered it, and I have to admit, yes, the fuck it does! Like, what? If you go to Snake and Jake's between the hours of like 4 and 5 a.m., you might not be the youngest person in there by like a quarter century. Because that's when they're all out buying cigarettes. But otherwise, if you go in there, the other 23 hours of the day, I go in there and it reminds me of like London in 1943 during like the Blitzkrieg, where everyone was like huddled into this smoky basement, and they're all old and bony and so like have such sour attitudes, and they're like afraid to go outside or return to their homes. And, what are you doing in here? So, I mean, I don't mean to shit on Snake and Jake's. Like, fuck, I love Snake and Jake's, but a lot of old people bars are like that. If you guys have ever been to Evelyn's place, does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Yeah!
Yeah, I love Evelyn's place, man. I wound up there totally randomly some night for like New Year's Eve. We were trying to get to the gumbo thing. And we're like, oh, it's midnight. Fuck it, let's just go inside this bar. So we go into Evelyn's place, and it's just Evelyn and her husband, the bartender. And they're so fucking friendly. They buy us a round of shots and champagne and stuff. So it became kind of a habit for us to go back there. And a couple years ago, I went in there with a couple of my friends, and I'd been drinking a lot. I was pretty drunk, but all my friends were like not drunk. So I was like, come on with me. I'm going to decide what we do now. So I take them to Evelyn's, and right away I noticed this guy, this like big, giant beast of a man who's kind of like standing in the middle of the room. And let me kind of describe it like this. If you took like a bull, like a fucking bull, like cattle, and you just cut him in half down the middle, and then you take the bottom part and you stick it into the ground where the hind legs are like sticking out in front, and then you put an Auburn baseball cap on the top. That's this guy. I don't know. That's what I got. So I'm leading the way. I'm like leading the charge. I'm fired up, and my friends are like, fuck this, we're tired. Like, this is definitely our last stop. Like, fuck you, Ian, for taking us into this old people bar. And I'm like, so I'm buying everybody around, and in the meanwhile, this beef guy starts kind of like doing like rolling. I forget what the song is, but he starts dancing a little bit, and I'm like, fuck yeah! Finally, something's happening in this bar. Like we're dancing, everyone. So I get up, I abandon my friends, and I go over right behind the guy and start doing like, just jamming by myself. And I think this is hilarious. And his girlfriends notice, and they're like, ah, that's funny. So then I like take it to the next level. I put my back to the guy, and I start like doing some of this kind of motion. And I'm like, yeah, this is so fun. I'm finally having fun. And I turn around, and he's like, it's like the Dark Lord Sauron. He's like staring into me from across the plains. And I'm like, fuck, what's gonna happen? And he leans over and he bends his knees, because he's real fucking tall. And he puts out his big meaty arms, and he gives me the biggest hug. Oh, he squeezes me so tight. And he sits me back down and tussles my hair, and then picks up his beer and goes back to talking to the girl. At least that's the way I remember it. Because I talked to my friends later, and they were like, dude, you came so close to getting your ass like pounded into the street. What were you doing? You can't go up and make fun of a big beefy Auburn guy. Are you crazy? You're gonna get yourself killed. But I was real excited about the way it turned out, because I wasn't injured, except for the bruises on my ribs and arms. I'm fucking fired up about this show. You guys ready for the first comedian? Yeah! Super sweet. You guys are a great audience. Give it up for Cassidy Hanahan.